When you dance, dance like nobody is watching. And when you call Glenn, talk like the NSA and IRS are listening. Because most likely they are.
Guess who?
And they haven't had their daily dose of irreverent, insulting sarcasm today. We're counting on you. Call the show now.
Okay, so let's head over to, for those people listening in Casper, Wyoming, I'm going to talk about your county for just a minute here. And I have the same question that I had last time I talked about this. Headline, County Commission approves permit for horse stables and land sale. This is from Kate. Okay. I just got to understand, I don't. Why do you have to get permission? But see, this is what upsets me. Let me read the story and point out the words in here that upset me. Matt and Amanda won easy approval of their conditional use permit request from the Natrona County Commission Tuesday to allow horses and 4-H animals on their 1.5 acres west of Casper. Okay, here's the words that upset me here. They had to go to the county commission and talk them into, get their approval for conditional use. On these conditions, you're allowed to use your property, your own property. Whose property is it? Is it the county's property? It's not the county's property. Whose property is this? But so it doesn't belong to the county, but they have to go get permission from the county to do what they want to do on their own property. Under these conditions only. And they have to get a permit based on those conditions. What is a permit? That's another way of saying they had to get permission from the Natrona County Commission to be allowed. See, if you follow these conditions, we will allow you to do what you want to do on your own property. In this case, 4-H animals on an acre and a half. See, you lived at one time in a free country where your land was yours, and you did what you want to do with your own land. And so, if you had an acre and a half in some county somewhere in America, and you decided you want to run some horses on it, well, it's your land. And you just go do it. Whose permission do you need? Your own, because you own the land. But to have to go in front of some committee somewhere, and they don't own your land, and get permission under the following conditions. They made a straightforward appeal for varied land use on both their own 1.56 acres and a subdivision property nearby. Quoting here, it's also worth recognizing that the Casper area is growing very rapidly in population with construction of high-density housing in previously undeveloped areas. That's nice. Whose land is that? It reads, and regardless of the future development and expansion plans, we would suggest the Commission continue to recognize allowable uses under the current zoning regulations on existing properties and encourage property owners to maintain traditional values and land use in accordance with the zoning regulations. I got a better idea. Well, if I buy some land way out in the county somewhere, whatever county that is, wherever it is in America, again, whose land is that? That's mine. So whose permission do I need? What if I decided I was going to become a pilot? I bought land out in the middle of nowhere so I could open up a little stretch and land my own private little propeller airplane whenever I felt like it. But I have to go in front of a county commission and make my case and get permission to do what I want to do on my own land. Now, again, in a free country, you wouldn't have to ask anyone. But what about the neighbors? Look, we already have provisions for that. They're called courts. I mean, let's say I decided to set up some business on my land, and it was polluting the water, and that pollution was heading downstream and mucking up my neighbor's yard. Well, what would happen? My neighbor would take me to court. That's what we have the courts for. And it turned out that long before we ever had zoning, those systems worked out just fine. It was not a mess out there. this makes it more difficult for people to do business. Once again, let's go ahead and choke out business because you got to jump through so many hoops and get permission. And what if the people on the county commission, just for whatever reason, arbitrary reason, decided that they just didn't like the idea of somebody having horses on their property or using their property as a runway or something like that, and they decided against it? Now, you know what the most important thing in a free country that makes a free country is that when you own a piece of land, it is yours, and you get to do with that land what you want to do. By the way, the lady who posted this, she's from Casper. She calls into the program from time to time. It's where I found the story. Complains that, and she sent me some videos of this before. She gets up in front of the NATRONA County Commission and tries to speak, and they don't really like to hear what people have to say, apparently. Well, to the people of NATRONA County, you voted these boneheads in, and you're allowing them to take away your property rights. So at what point do you finally get sick of it?